Welcome, my friends, to Inside the Minds of Authors. I'm DC Gomez, and I'm thrilled you're joining me today for a fun conversation with a passionate author. We're kicking off the program, like it's our tradition, with a short reading from the feature book. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Cris Burl, and I'm a multi-genre author of Musings of a Deranged Mom Series, nonfiction humor. And I also write romance, Hill Country Desires series, and then I also write horror under the nom de plume Evelyn Rains. Today, I'm going to start off reading a chapter from Musings of a Deranged Mom, Hot Mess Express. This is my newest release that came out. I'm going to start off about halfway through. It's called These Shoes Are Made for Walking. It's the day after fall back time change. Monday mornings are usually chaotic in our household, but for some weird reason, having an extra hour in the morning has made life even more rushed. We finally get out the door, and I have the fun job of driving to 2 different school districts for my kids. Long story short, my son didn't get into the charter school lottery that my daughter attends, and because of this, he's going to the district we are zoned for. The schools are about 20 minutes apart, and they start at approximately the same time, which means we are Cruella de Villing driving from one school to the other. It was in the midst of a crazy turn on a dirt road that my daughter informs me that she doesn't have her PE shoes. I do not have time to go home. I have to be at work directly after I drop her off at school. I decide to do the motherly thing and sacrifice my comfort for her not getting in trouble during PE and give her my work tennis shoes. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go through the day at work with just socks on, and hopefully I can avoid all the bosses and everybody else that can notice my shoeless feet. When I remember, I have a bag of donation items in the back of my car. I have had this bag in my trunk for the last 6 months, and if I remember right, there's a pair of shoes in there. Let me paint you this picture. It's November. I have no clean socks other than some old Halloween socks on. The only shoes that I can find that would actually fit my feet are leopard print house shoes. I look ridiculous. And now walking around for 10 minutes, I realized why I wanted to get rid of these shoes. They are incredibly uncomfortable. I have blisters forming on the balls of my feet. I can't pick up my feet without losing a shoe. And because of this, static electricity has built up, and I am literally and figuratively shocking people all day long with my new style of footwear. This is ridiculous. About halfway through my workday, I lose the shoes, throw them in the damn trash can, and finish my day with only my Halloween socks on. I'm still shocking people with my presence, but at least it's not physically painful anymore. Well, for me it is, because these blisters on my feet do hurt. I'm thinking I need to keep a pair of shoes in the car for the daughter, so the next time this happens, and it will happen, I do not have to sacrifice my comfort. And then I have one more, because that was really short. It's called I'm Dying Here. The torture that parents are put through can challenge any terrorist. I don't think they could handle half the events we have to sit through in the name of good parenting. Over the summer, it was sitting in the extreme South Texas heat to watch Marky wait for his turn to hit the ball. Because he was under the age of 5, I had to wait at the field for him all day in case he needed help with the restroom or his snack. So I am melting and burning under the sun. I even have a shaded chair, but it's not providing much relief. My phone is too hot to play on. My brains have melted and are leaking out of my ears. And I have another 3 hours of baseball camp to endure before we can even hit the air-conditioned car. Oh, wait, no, there are awards. Why? Because they're 5. Why do we need an award for waiting their turn to miss the ball sitting on the tee and then running in the wrong direction and not getting on any bases? Then there's high school. My daughter tried out for the school play and was awarded with a minor character that had 3 speaking parts through the whole 2-hour play. The school also ran the play for an entire week. Of course, we have to be good parents, and one of us needs to be at the play to support her, but I kept losing the paper, rock, scissors game to the Hubs. So he got to stay home with the kid, and I was awarded the luxury of sitting on a rock-hard chair and watch a bunch of high schoolers bad act their way through a 2-hour play. My butt went numb. We weren't allowed food or drink in the gym where the play was being performed, so I didn't even have anything to help me kill time. Then on the last night, the set fell while the actors were on stage. I can't even make this stuff up. Now she's talking about the spring play, and I'm online looking for a purse with a straw so I can sneak in alcohol because I think this is the only way I'm going to survive another performance. And Marky wants to do another baseball camp next summer. I tried talking him into basketball because it's indoors, but even he knows that he's too height challenged to play basketball. Maybe I can make a buck and pass out frozen margaritas to all the moms in the field. Oh, wait, I could go to jail for selling alcohol without a license? Hell, sign me up. I could use a full night's sleep for once.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Minds of Authors. And my friends, one of my dear friends, an absolutely hilarious author, has joined us back on this show, the fabulous and only Miss Cris. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am trying to hold it in because your musings are hysterical. And for a girl with no kids, I'm just like, you're not painting a good picture. I was like, oh, why would you do this to yourself? So we're going to jump right in. This is the fourth book in this series.
Yes. And I know I was talking about ending the series, but life has gotten chaotic again.
You're like, chaotic? Really?
Oh, chaotic? No.
Don't say.
So I am working on a fifth book now.
I was going to ask you because when you told me last month that you were ending, I was like, oh, really? But it is your life. Everything's an adventure.
Everything.
So let's talk about this book. How did you decide it? What is this fourth book all about? Tell us.
So all of the books are pretty much my life, stories and small anecdotes. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no losing a chapter, sitting down and losing your space. You could pick up in the middle of the book and just start right in the middle and not have to worry about staying on course with the stories. It's just musings. This book is a little bit different than the other three. Hot Mess Express is more about me and my adventures and my quirkiness as a parent and as a woman, and less about my kids. Whereas the first three books was my reaction to my kids. So it's not my kids' lives. It's not a lot of stories about children and childcare. It's more my reactions to being a parent. And this latest book is less parent and more me.
So we're slowly transitioning, and a lot has to do because your kids are older. You're in a whole different world. You're not having a 10-year-old and a baby anymore.
I have a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old.
I'm debating which one was better. I was like, ooh.
Well, let me just paint this picture. My daughter has a college fund. My son, my younger one, my 5-year-old redhead, has a slush fund.
Well, at least we understand when you put this book together, because you are putting for many different things. And you say there's no rhyme or reason. I think I call it more, there's no chronological order.
No.
So there's not, I started in day 15, we're going to go to day 45. These are things that actually have impacted you and things that you can kind of put together. And you have a really amazing way of looking at it. Because let's be honest, I don't know if I would consider giving out my shoes and going bare feet at work for the entire day. How do you decide to make this choice of all the things? I'm like, yeah, we're just not going to wear shoes.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like I don't think about it. It was at the spur of the moment. My daughter was in tears. And when you look at your teenage daughter just crying because she knows she's going to get lunch detention and she's going to get school uniform carded because she wasn't wearing uniform, how she feels that her life is over because she forgot her gym shoes. And my heart melted. And I was like, here, just take my darn shoes. Didn't really think about the repercussions. I just was like, I work at a preschool, so going around barefoot or shoeless isn't a big deal.
One of the things that I love about it is the sacrifice you're making as a parent. And at the time, it's not even a sacrifice. You're not sitting here saying, I'm going to torture myself or my kids. It's just, this is what I'm going to do for them. And so many parents can relate every single time. How are your books come across to your readers?
They're humor based. So a lot of times they like to not only escape the drama that their own kids put them through, but laugh along the way too. And then they can relate, because I guarantee you 99% of my stories, someone's reading it with kids and thinking, oh my gosh, that happened to me. Like I remember softball games and cheerleading and basketball. I remember sitting on hard bleachers and my ass blistering because I can't get up and walk around without spilling soda all over everybody. They remember this stuff, or they're going through it at the same time. And the fact that they can relate to my stories and laugh at me and themselves actually helps them along the way and gives them some comedic relief.
It's a way to normalize some of these experiences that at the time you're so overwhelmed. Let's be
Mhm.
honest. You have to be there because you can't be that one parent not showing up to this play that you have seen 4 other times. And you're going, I'm doing this again. Okay. That was amazing. I love the fact that you said she has 3 lines. You still got to be there.
Still got to be there. Except next time I might try to cheat at paper, rock, scissors because my husband, I think he was cheating. He didn't want to go.
How did you cheat at paper, rock, scissors?
I don't know, but I'm blaming the cheating system. He cheated. I guarantee it.
Find a different system. You're not very good at that one. It's just let it go. So, for our listeners who are new and didn't catch your first visit to the podcast, tell us what made you decide to actually start this series of all the things you could have done? Why did you decide to do this?
Well, this wasn't actually a goal. Like, I didn't set out to be published. I didn't set out to be any kind of author. I had my son in 2016. And with both my kids, I suffered postpartum depression, pretty severe. And the medication that they had me on with my son, it wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. And so my therapist mentioned the idea of journaling, starting to write down thoughts, write down your day, things that happened, put it on paper. So that way it seems like you're getting it out. Get it out. When you get it out, it's not going to be in your brain anymore. Once it's out there, it's gone. I took his advice to heart and I started a journal. And every time that there was a situation or something happened and I needed to get it down and write it down, I did. And it really did help. Journaling really did help me. I feel like it helped me just as much, if not more, than the medication did. And I was able to get weaned off the medication and I kept journaling. Well, a couple of years after my journaling, I showed my journal to my husband in the midst of an argument. So that way he knew what my thoughts were going through, what was happening to me, why I was thinking the way I was thinking. He came home from the day and the house would be a mess. And he was like, well, what did you do all day? And I just pointed to my 2-year-old. It's like, what do you expect me to do? So I gave him, in a moment of weakness, in a moment of an argument, I gave him my journal to read. And I said, this is me. And he read it and he said, you are hilarious. He laughed his way through it. He's like, you're not just writing down what happened, you're providing comedy. This is hilarious. And he said, you have to publish this. You have to figure out a way to publish this. Because he was like, every mom is probably going through the same thing. And so I got a hold of a friend of mine who was also an independent author. And I asked her, I was like, what are the steps? What do I do? And surprisingly, it was easy enough to where failure me was able to do it. I hired a cover artist. I got an editor. I published my own book. And that was the very first Musings of a Deranged Mom. And the depression just still lingered. And I just kept writing and kept writing. And now I've got 4 books later and 4 years. I feel we're doing pretty good there.
You were able to channel all this energy and all of these ideas that keep flying into people's heads that sometimes we don't know how to communicate them and give them birth and give them something that is very, very powerful that people can relate. So I absolutely love it. So when we first met, you was just doing Deranged Mom. That was what you were there. You were focusing on that. And now you're officially doing multi-genre.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about this. What is the fabulous Cris doing besides nonfiction comedy?
Well, I've always kind of wrote short stories. Even as a kid, I had a notebook full of short stories. And characters would talk to me in my head, and I just write them down and create little worlds. And one day I was just sitting down and I had this character, Molly, just yapping at my head. And I wrote some little notes here and there down and created a little short story about her and her life. I wasn't planning on publishing it. It was just a fun thing for me to do, but she wouldn't stop. She just would not stop. And I could not get her out of my head, even though I wrote her story down and I just couldn't get it out of my head. So I started the steps to publish Hill Country Desires, Grooming Her Desire, which is all about Molly. And I was like, okay, well then another character started talking, and then another character started talking, and another person started talking. So now I officially have 3 published under the series of Hill Country Desires. And the 4th one is actually part of an anthology that will be coming out in August.
What genre do these books fall? I need to ask this for everybody who needs to wonder who should be reading these books.
These are contemporary romance books, and the series is female based. The women rule the world in this series. And it's about strong women having the worst happen and them able to rise out of the flames and continue on and succeed at life.
Those are so huge premise and things that everybody feels. We either are seeing this in our lives or we want to be these strong people in our lives. So I love it. How much spice are in these books? Let's put that out there.
Yeah, they're rated R. Yeah. I won't let my husband read them.
Oh, that kind of rated R.
Yeah, I don't want him getting any new ideas.
We need to keep the expectations contained. Like,
Keep
let's
it
just
low.
keep it there.
Keep the expectations low.
You mentioned, I'm trying not to laugh. I'm trying to maintain a serious interview focus here, but it's really hard. You now also talk about writing horror. Talk
Yes.
about that. What is this new adventure you got going on, girl?
All right. I wrote, actually it's an anthology. It's called Abnormal Carnage. And I actually changed my name for this one because I was worried about my mom reading it and then calling the white coats on me or something. But it's under the name Evelyn Rains. It's called Abnormal Carnage, and it's 5 short stories about women who take the restitution that they feel they deserve. And it is a horror book, so there is a lot of blood and guts and gory. The idea actually came from one day the husband made me really mad, and I needed an outlet. So I killed him about 5 times.
So your husband is motivation and inspiration all at once.
Okay,
So
definitely.
my heart goes out to him because he is a great cheerleader and yet inspiration for some horrible things happening in this world.
He did read that one, and then he hid the scissors from me for about a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't blame him. Tell him he did well. I cheer for him now. This could be bad. You pull from everything to inspire. You pull from everything to create your books. What would you tell somebody who is an aspiring author that is trying to do the same? Where do they start?
I just start writing your thoughts down, even if it's just gibberish. I mean, there is days where I'm sitting at the computer and just nothing is running through my head. And so instead of just getting up and walking away and turning it off, I'll just start writing gibberish, writing about my day, just journaling anything. And then pretty soon my thoughts will start flowing and it all just come out. So it's just start. Let's just start writing down, just start working your way. If you have characters in your head, you have storylines in your head. I know some people will read a book and be like, well, if it was me writing, I would have had them do this. Well, then write it down. That's just the start. And then once you feel like you have a book or a story or a series or something going on, then just push your way to publish it. I can't tell you how easy it was to self-publish through Amazon. It was just super easy. And there's no holding anyone back anymore. This isn't the 1980s where you needed a publishing company and a publisher and all of these steps to get out there. Now there's so many independent authors that there's no competition to get a publishing company to take you on.
You're able to create your world and bring it to life. And there's a beautiful community of authors. Let me just put it out there. I have so many friends in this field, and I'm blessed to continue to meet them that anybody will help. This is the one thing about it. We are very, very blessed to have people like, yeah, absolutely. I will talk to you about this. So, hey, if you're interested in doing it, take a leap. Tell me, sweetie, what are you working on now? Because now you got like projects galore. What's in the frame?
Well, right now I am working on a ghost story. Woo! So I'm dipping my toe into paranormal.
We are going all over the place, and I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. What is the ghost story about? Can you tell us, or is this something I need to wait? What is it
I
about?
will give you a little bit of premise here. It's about sisterhood. It's about sisters, best friends. I had quite a bit of a scare a few years ago. My best friend had colon cancer. I actually had one friend that passed away about 3 years ago from a different type of cancer. And then my current best friend, who's my age, he's only in her 40s, has stage 4 colon cancer. When she was diagnosed, all I could imagine was my life without her. And it was hard. I couldn't. This book is about best friends, sisters making their way through life And sometimes the worst happens. It really does. It happens. It's life. And when that happens, most of the time you have to learn how to carry on. But in this story, she doesn't.
We talked about happy endings definition for you. And you have a beautiful way of looking at it is happy ending for your characters. Might not be what we think. Do you do that on purpose or is that something the story dictates?
I have no control. I have none. I start out like, okay, well, this is going to happen. This is the steps, and I want her to do this and I want her to do that. And the next thing I know, there's maniacal laughing in my head and saying, fools you, I'm going to do this instead. So I really don't have control over the twists and turns that happen in my book. And just it's where my brain and my characters take me.
It's so much fun. So tell me, sweetie, where can our listeners find you? Where they can find the books, where your stuff is available?
You can even find me on Amazon. I actually have an Amazon page, amazon.com/Cris Burl. And then I also have my website, www.crisburl.com. And you can find all of my books there. And also, you can find some crazy pictures of my adventures. You can find all my upcoming conferences and shows that I will be at. And let me tell you, it's a riot. If you've never been to see me at a book signing convention, it's a riot. I can guarantee 100% fun if you find me.
Are you ready for our lightning round? So before you go, are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, let's see how we do today.
Okay.
First one, sodas or juice?
Neither.
Really? What do you
Really.
normally drink?
Sparkling water.
Not
And-
bad.
I drink the Buble sparkling water. That's what I drink. I love it.
Okay.
And on a good day, I'll call it the Michael Bublé water. So I like to say I'm drinking Michael today.
Oh my God, I don't even know what to do with you. Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Not surprised about that. If you could be one of these two, a wizard or a pirate, which one do you be?
Pirate. Arr.
I can totally see that in you.
I feel like being a wizard, I'd have too many limitations. You know, I could only do so much magic or so much. You know, there's too many limitations as a wizard. With a pirate,
Or responsibilities.
the responsibility. Those powers, you got to be responsible. As a pirate, nah, I just cut off my leg, put a boot on, get ready to go.
So not surprised. Okay. Sailor Moon or Power Rangers?
Sailor Moon. Actually, that we growing up in the 90s, Sailor Moon was a really big hit. And so my friends and I used to pretend we were the Sailor Moon characters, and I was Serena with the pigtails. And so I was a 15-year-old girl with pigtails everywhere and the nerd because I would try to dress like Sailor Moon, like Selena.
Why am I not surprised you would try to dress up like her? Cosplay before it became popular.
Yep.
All right. Here is the last one. Let's see how you do. A little different.
Okay.
If your life had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. That's a hard one.
I know.
Okay. Probably Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Why?
That's my go-to song. When I have to get pumped up for anything, that's what I have to play in the background. So I get pumped up for a party because I'm a little antisocial when it comes to parties. I'm like the wallflower. I don't like to communicate with a whole bunch of people at the same time. Like me and you, that's okay. Me standing on a stage in front of a crowd talking, that's okay. But having to actually, mingle with 20, 30 other people, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I have to pump myself up. And so that song, Pour Some Sugar on Me, pumps me up. It really does. And so I play that before every event. I play that before anytime I have to go somewhere that I'm uncomfortable with. So that is kind of like my life theme song.
Nice. I love it. Do you have any closing remarks for us?
Putting me on the spot again.
It happens. This is an interview show.
So just closing remarks, be on the lookout for some new books hitting Amazon this summer. Keep stalking me on my Facebook page on Cris Burl Author and keep up to date with any shows or conventions that I might be doing and any new books that might be coming out. And for the moms out there, always find a laugh. Always try to find a smile, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how difficult it gets. When you laugh at yourself, it doesn't seem so bad. So always try to find that smile.
Honey, thank you so much for joining us. To our listeners, you need to go and grab these books. Definitely grab book 4 of Musings of a Deranged Mom. Follow Miss Cris everywhere. She is going to keep you entertained. And remember, we'll be back next week with another amazing author. So give us a like, Share this with your friends to know we're always better together. Huge shout out to our Patreon community. And guys, I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.